Hi, this is Brett Ingram, award-winning entrepreneur, and today I want to share with you what every digital marketer should learn from the looming TikTok ban before it's too late. So TikTok is obviously a wildly popular platform, especially with kids. It's a very young platform, and the younger generation is obsessed with it. It has 190 million users in the United States or something like that. And the challenge is it's very controversial because it's owned by a Chinese company. And so, with the strained relations between the United States and the Chinese governments, that's been a source of contention for quite some time. The question was, what was ever going to happen? In China, they don't allow a lot of the US tech companies to really operate without censorship. So Google, Facebook, a bunch of these other companies don't even operate over there because Google had tried that and they were there for about 4 years. But what they realized was that the Chinese government would step in and make them censor the search results and the various things that people could access on the internet. So they decided it wasn't really appropriate for their business model because they didn't believe in the idea of censorship like that. And so the interesting and ironic thing is that China was already doing that to the United States, but yet they were able to run an app in our country that for a long time was able to go sort of unchecked. But the concerns have been coming up in the last few years about security and about data mining and all the information that they might be gathering on all the people in the United States and what potential impact that could lead to in the future in terms of political ramifications and other sorts of propaganda and things like that. And so in very recent times, there was a House vote in the United States government to actually ban TikTok and not allow it to be accessed anymore in the United States. And that actually just passed the House. So there's one other vote that needs to happen in the Senate. And if the Senate were to also vote to ban TikTok, the president has already said that he would sign the bill. So what that basically means is within 5 months, if TikTok doesn't divest and sell to an American-owned company, then they will no longer be able to operate in the United States. This all basically happened while people may have seen it coming. The actual legislation and vote just happened very recently. And so literally it was basically like an overnight thing. One day everybody was able to use the app without worrying about it. The next day you woke up to the news cycle and realized that in 5 months it might no longer be available on American phones, devices, computers, and things like that. So the question is, what does that possible ban mean? And why does this matter if we aren't even on TikTok? Well, full disclosure, I'm personally not on TikTok. I guess I'm just a bit older, so social media in general just really wasn't really my focus. But there are millions of people in the US that are not only on it, but a lot of them are influencers, digital marketers, small companies, large companies, anybody that wants to tap into the youth base in the United States. It's important for them to be on that platform because it's where most of them hang out. It's where they spend most of their time. And so a lot of those people are either making a living from it or they're at least using it as a primary arm for their marketing to reach the audience that they want. And so the question becomes, in 5 months, unless something changes, they might all be out of business, or at least that element of their marketing might be out of business. But some people will be completely shut down if that's where they derive all of their sales or all of their following and influence from. And so the question is, even if we're not on the platform itself, right? What if we're doing other digital marketing? What if we're selling products? What if we're running ads? What if we're doing email marketing? What if we're doing SEO or any other kind of social media? Does this matter to us? Is there something about it that we should learn and take from it? And I believe that there is. We all need to take an important lesson from this before it's too late. And what that lesson is to diversify and protect. The fact of the matter is the only thing that's constant in the online world is change, right? So whatever works today may not work tomorrow. I've been in the industry now for about 17 years, and the distance that we've come from 17 years ago in terms of what worked and what was effective to where we are today is so astronomical, it's hard to even put into words. To put it in perspective, if we just sort of turn the clock back a little bit and we look back at what it was like when I started getting online, first of all, none of the social media platforms existed. They weren't even in existence. There was no Facebook, right? There was no TikTok. There was no Snapchat. None of these things even existed. So you barely even had the ability to get online, let alone do any sort of social networking, or the influencer movement wasn't even a thing. There was no such thing. The big rage at the time was sort of the fight over the rights for music, because people were going digital with music, and streaming platforms like Napster were out there, and people were saying, well, is this legal? Like, are they stealing copyrighted music and downloading copyrighted material, and what is this going to do for? And that's where we were. There wasn't any high-speed internet. So you had a dial-up connection, and the idea was, unless you worked at a business, and so there was no real online video. I mean, you could put a little tiny video, low resolution, like 360 pixels wide, and it would stream, and it would stutter, and it would take a while to load, because everything was so slow, and you just didn't have the access to things. Things didn't move at the speed that they do. E-commerce was just sort of getting started. A lot of major corporations and companies barely even had websites online, because they didn't even know, is this something in the future, or should we just stick to our offline business model the way we've always done it? And so it's a really fascinating sort of distance we've come from there to here. And over that time, things have changed. If we just look at one segment of sort of the whole digital landscape, and we look at just like search engine optimization. So at the time, there were multiple search engines. You had Netscape, and you had AOL, and you had this other browser, and and so it was funny, because even the browsers themselves were fighting, and the search engines themselves were fighting for dominance. Who was going to come out on top, right? It wasn't always just Google and then, hey, kind of everybody else. There were a lot of different options. And the thing about it is, search engine optimization was sort of, starting to reach its heyday, where people realized, hey, if we can do things to our website to teach this search engine that we are cool, they'll put us at the top. And that's really great, because we get a lot of free traffic when people start searching. So because even the search engine algorithms were so new, people were doing all these crazy things like keyword stuffing. If you wanted to rank for the word entrepreneur, you would just put the word entrepreneur 150 times in white text on a white page, and it was invisible to the viewer or the user, because they couldn't see it. But the search engine would say, wow, this page has a lot of stuff about entrepreneurship, and they'd rank it at the top. So it was hilarious. And then what happened was the search engines realized that's what people are doing. So overnight, you click your fingers, and it was gone. They shut that off literally overnight when they realized what it was. They rolled out an update, and then it became all about backlinks. So people were doing backlink stuffing, where all they were doing is running out and getting a ton of other sites to link to their site. And the search engines were like, yeah, if a lot of sites link into a site, that means it's really good. Raise it really up. And so every element of digital marketing went through this same sort of evolution, where it started off in its infancy. Advertising was the same thing. You used to be able to get online ads for a penny and 2 pennies. And now it's like, if you can get a good keyword for under $10 a click, that's pretty good. So for better and worse, things have always evolved, and things have always gotten to that way. But one of the things that we learned early on in this industry is that we have to be always evolving, and we have to understand that the only constant is change. Everything is moving at a rapid fire pace. So if we get complacent because things are going well and we've got it set up, and we sort of kick back in our easy chair and feel like, now I've got this business and it's cranking along, and I'm just going to retire on the beach and sip some Mai Tais. We might wake up tomorrow and find that we're in trouble. We might wake up tomorrow and find that our business is out of business. You know, ask any SEO professional or anyone who's ever done SEO as a traffic generation method. Even if they were doing it legitimately, without any sort of black hat stuff, every time there's a Google update, there's a percentage of the sites that are ranked really high that drop way down. They have to scramble, they have to adjust, and they have to get... So if that's your only traffic source, that's very scary when you wake up in the morning and you went from page 1 to page 12, right? Your traffic went from whatever it was to 10% of that overnight. And so if you have a staff to pay, if you have bills to pay with that, and you're relying on that traffic, that's very scary. And if you look at other elements like servers and website hacks from the security standpoint, all the cybersecurity stuff has gotten, the hacking has gotten far more sophisticated, the phishing scams, all these other things, the malware has gotten far more sophisticated. Now that we have AI, it's even scarier. And the fact of the matter is, I, in my own business, twice had my servers and websites hacked and brought down. I was at conferences at the time, and I had a number of websites that were all functioning, bringing in sales, and they were hacked. And they weren't insecure, but I just didn't go crazy about worrying about security. They went down. It took a whole, several days to get them back up. Thankfully, I was able to restore them and get them going. But the fact of the matter is, servers can go down, websites can go down, data centers can go down. So, we can't protect against everything, but we need to be conscious of it and smart about that. YouTube channels can be shut down. I know personally a guy who used to do a YouTube channel, and it wasn't huge, he wasn't a massive influencer, but in the internet marketing space, he would do product reviews and things like that. And a couple people thought they were going to be funny or whatever and flagged his channel. And his channel 2 or 3 times literally just got shut down. He woke up one day, turned it on to make a video, and got the notice across his thing that his account was temporarily suspended, and he had to fight with them to get it reinstated. And so again, he was able to do that successfully, but it took him days of lost revenue and days of not being able to create videos or market because of that. So it's a very scary place to be. Email marketing systems. I know a number of marketers personally that run legitimate businesses where their email marketing accounts were shut down. Same thing. No notice. It's temporarily suspended. Then you have to fight to reinstate it. And if they choose not to reinstate you, you're done. You're out of business. They won't let you export your leads. They won't let you do anything. And you can't mail or email market anymore. Actually, it happened to me as well. Thankfully, I was able to get reinstated. Facebook ad accounts. My account got banned. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I had an account that I had somebody running ads for me. There was nothing controversial or weird or deceptive about it. They decided in their infinite wisdom that something was wrong with one of my ads, and they banned it. And so I applied for reinstatement. They decided a permanent ban on the account, and that's it. There's no other recourse. There's nothing else I can do. The decision is final and permanent. And that's what it says right across my ad account. So all of these things are things that it doesn't mean we shouldn't use the platforms, but it means that we need to be smart about the way that we do it so we don't take anything for granted and get caught with our pants down. In 2010, I had worked my way up in the affiliate marketing space to a point where I had what I assumed was reached the mountaintop. I had all the top affiliates in the industry promoting my launch. I did a $500,000 launch. I was super excited about it. I thought, now I'm off to the races. I'm going to be in the game with the big boys that were all doing 7-figure launches. You launch a product and over a course of a week, you make $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million. That's what these guys were doing. And I had finally hit that level, and literally within a month, the entire industry imploded. Some scammers were in the industry. They were launching some products that were very deceptive. but they had really slick marketing. And so the credit card companies that did all the processing and all the payment processing companies got wind of this, got scared. We are such a small fraction of the overall market for them that they shut us all down across the board, everybody. So I know there's a very prominent marketer that everybody knows who he is. I won't name him, but he had $100,000 a month in recurring revenue charges that he had had for years from legitimate business shut down overnight. He had to lay off almost his entire staff because he couldn't pay him anymore. And that happened to all of us almost overnight. It took years to build all that stuff back. So I'm not saying this to scare you. We never know what's around the corner. That is the lesson. And I want to give enough examples just so it's clear that you know, we don't want to be in the boat where we feel like, well, it won't happen to me. It happens to everybody. So I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to prepare you. Because if we are prepared for all issues, you know, the fact of the matter is we're that much more powerful and safe and secure in what we're trying to build. You know, and for all the issues, I don't want to paint a negative picture. Digital business is still awesome. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. At the same time, we do need to be smart and we need to know what we can do to protect ourselves. So that's the question, right? What do we do? If we know all this stuff and it's scary and black box and we never know what's coming around the corner, what do we do in order to be able to build a business that we can count on? Well, there's really three main things that we need to do. The first is we need to protect our digital assets. This is the security piece of it. We have to secure our stuff with hard to guess passwords. You know, a lot of people want to use simple passwords. It makes it easy to guess. I recommend you get a password like tool that manages all your passwords for you. That's super secure. So you can use really hard to guess passwords for everything. You'd be surprised how easy it is for hackers to get your passwords. And once they do, they pass them around so everything you own can be hacked. If they have a password and then you change a couple letters each time it tells you need to change it, that isn't enough. Because once they know one, they can run some automated software that will determine all the other ones and they'll still hack your stuff. And if all your stuff gets hacked, it's an absolute nightmare to try to get it set back up. It's far easier just to use really hard to guess passwords that are unique and let a password management tool that you pay 20 bucks a month for manage it all for you. It's really, really simple. So that's just step one. Also, secure our hosting. If you're running any websites where you have hosting, make sure the hosting you're using is secure, that uses like top level encryption, and that it keeps backups. Because if something gets hacked or infected with a virus, you don't want to lose your entire website and have to rebuild it. And it can be a nightmare to sort of backtrack that out. Everything you're doing, every app you're running that allows for two-factor authentication, I know it's a pain in the neck to get a text every time you log into a site with a code that then you need to go type in. I get it. I get annoyed by it too. But the fact of the matter is it will protect you, particularly for financial accounts. Any of your payment processors, any of your platforms where there's sensitive, secure information or financial accounts, do two-factor authentication on all of them. Do it for your socials. Do it for your online platforms. If you're an influencer or you're building something there, the last thing you want is for your identity to get hacked, somebody to go in there, do something that gets your account shut down, and then the platform shuts you down permanently because somebody else did something that was outside your control. So we want to secure stuff and protect stuff right off the bat. The second step we could take is we want to diversify our traffic methods. This is sort of the gas in the car, right? This is going to make our engine run. And so no matter what we're doing for traffic generation online, it's important that we master and optimize and systematize what we're doing. So I don't recommend, if you're just getting started, to try 100 things at once so you're diversified. Try one, get it up and running, optimize it, systematize it. But if you're at that place where you've got something that you can count on, it's going pretty well, now is the time to optimize that, systematize it, and then add something else. And then add a third one. I recommend having at least 3. So if you're using SEO, get it to a place where you're comfortable, then add ads or add affiliate marketing. Get some affiliates to promote your stuff. Add social media marketing or video content marketing. Add some offline marketing like direct mail, radio, TV, print. All of these things absolutely work, even if they seem old school. So we want to be diversified so we know that if one of those elements gets dinged or shut down or shut off, we have other methods that can at least keep us going in the short term. A third thing that we want to do is diversify our sales and income streams. So just like the traffic, which is the gas, we also need the results. We need our money to also be diversified. So we, again, have enough coming in that we can survive any sort of downturn. So same idea, right? If we're just getting started, we don't need to worry about trying to get 3 or 4 income methods. All that will do is spread you so thin that nothing works. Get one up and running, but once it's up and running and working, we want to master it, optimize it, systematize it, and then add another one, and then add a third one. So if we're selling a digital product or an online product, add another product, add a second product. If we aren't selling anything yet, and we're doing like affiliate promotions, we want to start selling our own product, create an info product, a digital product, software, whatever, right? Or add a second product to our product line. We want to promote affiliate products. So we start to generate affiliate income as well. So even if our own products had an issue, now we've got affiliate income coming in. We want to add email marketing. So if we're doing e-commerce and people are buying from our website, we want to build a list and we want to start emailing out offers. So we're generating revenue from email marketing. If we're doing email marketing, we want to add e-commerce. So we want to have a website where people can do a checkout right on our website, buy stuff from us. If we're doing all of that stuff, we can add joint ventures where we work with other marketers and businesses and do joint efforts where maybe it's their product and our marketing or their marketing and our product or whatever else. So we have yet another revenue stream. We can sell ad space. If we have enough traffic coming into any of our properties, our websites or whatever, we can actually sell ads to other people. There's a gazillion ways to do this. One isn't right or wrong. The important thing is we can get creative with this. The most important thing is that we don't get all of our results from a single source, whether that's traffic, sales, or income. Because if that single source gets hacked, compromised, shut down, it puts us out of business. It is still going to hurt if something gets turned off on us, but we can weather the storm and survive when we're diversified. So the takeaway here is that online business and digital marketing is an amazing opportunity available to almost anyone. It's absolutely revolutionized entrepreneurship because it's eliminated all the barriers and obstacles to getting started with our own business. But it also has its own challenges, and we need to be aware of them, and we need to prepare for them. As long as we diversify our traffic, leads, and income strategies, we can build something that will endure for the long haul and really be able to live the lives of our dreams.